Okay, in this video, I wanted to give you a little bit more sense of what open water swimming is like from the start perspective. And in the swim start of an Ironman race, you typically have a large group of swimmers like this congregating, and you see these little signs here. They're trying to self-seed themselves. This is 2013 Ironman Florida, and you're going to see the waves here are an issue with swimming. You see different types of wetsuits. Here's a sleeveless. He's got a buoy with him. That's interesting. He's long sleeves here. Some more sleeveless suits. I don't see anyone not wearing a wetsuit at all. Sometimes you see one or two people not wearing a wetsuit. Let's look at what happens. The gun goes off. It's going to go off, and there goes the swimmers. This is a mass start, and you see some people walking to get in. That's fine. It's a you do want to be careful getting in, but now they've got to deal with the waves. And this is important because the swimming kinematics and kinetics information that I'm going to present in the other presentation, uh, those data are typically collected in a pool with the water's controlled. There's a black line to follow on the bottom of the pool, and you're swimming one person at a time. Here, you've got all these people swimming. They're probably hitting each other by accident most of the time. They may be kicking each other. Uh, the goggles may be kicked off. Oh, see here, that guy, he is a lifeguard, it looks, or he's just getting ready to, he must be part of the organization because you can't use any flotation during a swim. But you can see these people, they're actually walking, trying to get beyond the waves. Their time is already started for the race. So in some sense, this is good in that they're not panicking to get out in the water. They're taking the time, making sure they get started. Keeping that anxiety level low is probably a good thing. Remember, this event will take all day, 12 hours, 15 hours for a lot of these folks. They're going to swim all the way out there. So that's just sort of a neat start. Let me show another one. This is Ironman Nice. There's a little different picture of start. Here's the first group's going off, and you can see people lined up on the edge. It's pretty rocky here. But the thing about Nice is you take one or two steps in the water, and the depth is over your head. So 1, 2 steps, and you're swimming. Yeah, that looks a little crazy too. There's definitely some fray going on here, some MMA activity back here, um, and it can get a little scary at times for people. Obviously not a problem for the front swimmers because they don't have anyone near them. But for the rest of the folks, this is pretty crazy back here. And so you see people starting off to the side. That's probably a smart thing for a lot of people when it's a mass start. You see that swimmer's all on his own, so it's okay. And there's a little bit of drafting going on here. That swimmer is getting some of the water going, and the swimmer behind him or her, in this case, is benefiting from the water already moving by reducing drag resistance forces. So this person just sort of drafted in. They're going to exit. They're going to swim all the way up to the shore. That's where you can touch, and then off into transition. All right, so those are two examples of mass swim starts. Let me show you a rolling swim start. This is Ironman Australia. Gun goes off, and they only release a handful of people at a time, usually 4, maybe 6 people at a time. Then they come down and jump in, and they're off and swimming. So you can see it's much more controlled. The trick with this type of start is to seed yourself so that you're exiting with a group that's pretty similar swim ability. Because this person is actually drafting off that person. That's a good thing from a performance perspective because this water already gets moving in the direction that they're swimming. And so you have a bit less drag resistance force. You're not breaking the waves. You're not leading the way. So it's not far off from cycling. So here you see just a different picture of all these people lined up. You see in their corrals, they're each lined up in a row here, and they're just releasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at a time. Their time starts when they're released, and they get into the water and they start to swim. So those are some examples of swim starts, and uh, it is important to recognize that in endurance swimming like this, we do have to think about things beyond just swimming in a pool. So kinetics and kinematics is important for pool swimming, but we have to extend that and generalize that information off to events like this. And let's see if we can just catch some swimmers off in swimming, because the other big part of open water swimming is you have to track and you have to swim straight. And if we followed some of these swimmers, we may actually see them zigzagging along the way. That actually is reducing their performance, that they're not able to swim straight. So there is a lot of practice that you do in the water where you're not, where you are trying to swim as straight as possible. You're trying to avoid going off course. And so you have to adjust your stroke. You have to look, you have to sight. And a lot of times there's a benefit to being able to breathe on both sides in case there's someone on one side, you want to breathe on the other side so you're not getting their wash and push towards you. Okay, so that's just some information on different swim starts, and I hope that gives a context for some of the material that you're going to be listening to. All right, thank you.